Don't you just hate it when the light is like this? Such harsh contrast. Anyway, Facebook Marketplace. I've not really delved into that much. I always have a look round, see what's floating about on there, but this bike in particular caught my eye and I managed to get it. It was up there on, I think, one of the cycle trading groups. The guy had it listed for £100, and he was getting a lot of crap for it, really. Like, it's a relatively nice looking bike. It's obviously old. It's got nice lugs on it. It's obviously been repainted at some point, but you know there's potential there for a very nice bike. It's got all the cable guides brazed onto it. It's even got a braze on down tube shifter guide. All the right points are there to point towards like a nice high spec bike. I mean, this seat post for one is something to catch your eye, regardless of the looks. This seat post has been, I'd say, professionally drilled out by a very good machinist, because they're all super in line. Like, there's not much variation between any of these holes. Obviously it was done to make it lighter. I've never seen a seat post like that come a standard, so someone very skilled has done that. But the bike's identity still remained a mystery. Like, I had no idea what it was. Obviously it's been painted, all the badges have been taken off, everything's been hidden, so it was going to be a bit of a mystery as to what it is. But there is one thing right here which gives us a clue. The seat pin. Now, originally I thought that was a Viscount. I'm sure I've seen those on Viscounts before, but this bike looks too old to be a Viscount. They weren't around for that long, and although they did use something similar to this, that is actually a Viking. That's a Viking seat pin. So that started the ball rolling. That started the research into what this bike could be. Now, if you come around the front, obviously you can see the real nice lugs. I really like these designs, and I'm planning to refurbish it and keep a similar sort of style, like the two-tone. I'm definitely going to line all these lugs. But we've got the two holes for the head badge, two rivet holes. You can measure between those. I get about 61mm between those holes, and that can help you identify the year, also the maker, because different makers will have different patterns. For example, this Hercules, this is a 50s, 50s Hercules, because it's Birmingham. That is way smaller than those holes. This would be a standard Hercules badge. That is quite a big badge to go on there. And if you look onto, I can't remember which website it was now. I did find one. I'll try and link it in the comments and in the description. It gave really good details about Viking. Lots and lots of details about old Vikings, the head badges, the serial numbers, model numbers and all that, and how to trace them. And if you check on H. Lloyd Cycles as well for badges, for stickers, for decals, you'll also find they do still sell Viking head badges, and I'm pretty sure that dimension matches up with a Viking. Although I'd kind of figured out it was a Viking, it was an old Viking, I didn't know the age and I didn't know the model. But looking a bit further into that website, I found that listed a lot of the specific serial numbers linking to different models and different ages of Vikings. I found this. What, wrong way? I really don't know if you can see that, but the serial number is just here. Oh, it's hard to see. It's hard for me to see. It's one letter and 4 numbers. Now, the numbers, I believe, denote the manufacturing number, maybe even the age. I have to double check that. But the letter at the start, that denotes the model, and this says S. And looking on that website, trying to trace the model, it threw up an Ian Steel. So double checking with catalogues of the time, I ended up looking at a 1959 catalogue, ended up looking for the Ian Steel model, and this bike, with its lugs, with its braze-ons, looks to match that model. So it looks like I've managed to pick up a 1959 Ian Steel bike. Let's start at the crankset and the pedals. Crankset and the pedals look like they could be the original items. They have been sprayed, they've been sprayed silver or painted silver at some point, so there might even be a manufacturer's logo hiding under there. The pedals are web, which you can just about see if I put it to there. These pedals are lovely web pedals, but the crankset could be original. I'm not entirely sure as of yet. It could have a Williams logo under there. It will need a bit more tracing for that. It's just a shame that they're in poor condition. I might end up getting these re-chromed. We'll see how they clean up, how the paint comes off them. But if I am going to completely redo the bike. But I'd really like a nice chrome crankset to match here. Unfortunately, re-chroming is going to cost a bit, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Also, that cutter is in the wrong way around. It should have the pin side on the bottom, so when you're putting the force on, it's not going into the pin. Strange. Another potentially original part is the shifter. It's awesome that it's got the braze on the frame. Unfortunately, it's not both sides. Unfortunately, it's not 10 speed, so it'll be just running as 5 speed. But it's quite possible this is a cyclo shifter. I'd have to do a bit more research. It looks in fairly good condition. The cream is still good on the lever, and I can polish up all the metalwork behind it, so that should work. And unfortunately, that's about where all the original parts end. So that was 2, maybe 3 components. The brakes, they've been changed at some point to these Altenberger brilliant ones. Just by looking at them, they look later than the bike. This bike should, according to the catalogue, have come with either a Cyclo Benelux group set on it or a Campy group set on it, and it should have had what they're called GB brake levers and GB calipers. I can still find those. Again, I can find them. The costs involved are skyrocketing at the moment, especially trying to find a Benelux rear derailleur or even a Campy rear derailleur to fit. It's going to skyrocket, so we might keep the brakes. I'm not sure. They're not too bad condition. They'll polish up their alloy. We'll see what we can work with. Again, we could work with the levers. They are Altenberger again, quick release, so we can, if they're not seized, probably are. Oh no, there we go. So you can shove it up there, and it's more of a quick release for your wheel. Opens it up a bit. Bars, I'm not sure what make they are because I haven't got any of the bar tape off. But stem is Milremo. It could be original. I'm not sure if Viking would have used that brand. It's definitely got like the painting like a stem of that era. So I'm a bit torn on this one. It might be original, it might be nice to keep, but it's one of the annoying ones with the hole in the back, which then lets all the water and air straight down and corrodes it inside. So this might be seized. I haven't actually tried it yet. The wheel set front and rear has been replaced at some point. The chrome is good on them though, they're not matching. The rear has a rally rim, the front has a Sturmey Archer rim. They've both got 80s Maillard hubs, haven't they? Yeah, both have got 80s Maillard hubs. They should work well. I should be able to clean them up and get them looking nice with the bike, with some nice new tyres on there, because these are shot. But the interesting thing here, it's got a derailleur hanger. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, this is a kind of rare thing to have of the time, 59. Derailleurs were, I'd say, gaining popularity, becoming more common on the bikes, but they would normally have an adapter, shall we say, so it will have just normal dropouts, and the adapter goes behind the nut, derailleur hangs from that. So finding a derailleur to match this, I think is going to probably, I've looked it up, it's about £60, maybe a bit more, for a Benelux Mark 5 to go on there, because it has to have one especially that has a built-in stop, shall we say, for the B screw, because it doesn't have the little notch on there that a modern bike would have. But that is my Facebook find, my, let's say, 1959 Viking Ian Steel. So okay size for me to ride as well, so that's a plus. But I'm going to get this stripped down. Going to do a bit more research into Viking as a brand, as a manufacturer, and the Ian Steel model. Try and price up some components. Try and see how that crankset comes up, and we'll go from there. Leave your comments about what you think I should do to this bike, how you think it should style out. I'm leaning towards black. Obviously, black looks good. Maybe with a white, contrasting white on the head tube, gold lug lining, make it look real classy. I'll try and find a replacement badge for it. I know I can get the Ian Steel decals for it. And yeah, we'll try and return it to as original as possible without breaking the bank. But let me know what you think, how I should go about transforming this. I'm going to get stripping it down because I need to get moving on it. So we'll leave it there. We might have a bit of stripping montage at the end. Subscribe for more and all that sort of jazz. New builds are always coming out. It might take a bit longer than 1 week, one episode or two. We'll see how it goes. But this should turn out into a really nice bike. See you in the next one. stand corrected about these Altenburgers. They might be original. Might. The GB brakes definitely look better, but we've got a 58 stamp on the back. I don't know if that is a date, like the Vineman would have. Vineman normally have a date on the back. So yeah, a bit more research into that as well.